And now, Virginia This Morning on CBS 6.
Well, good morning and thanks for watching Virginia This Morning. I'm Jessica Knoll. Our first guest is a feng shui expert that explores the connection between God and science in her new memoir, Searching for the Caravan, a reconciliation with love, science, and divinity. We welcome Germaine Parra Avila to Virginia This Morning. It's nice to see you, Germaine.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for having me.
This is I'm going to call it a grand book. Some are comparing it to Eat, Pray, Love. This is an autobiography,
Right.
sharing your journey.
Yes, yes, it is. And the journey started actually when I was a child, when I didn't even realize that I had a journey. But I lived overseas for 17 years and in 7 different countries. I started out as a single woman living in Europe, but then we went to Pakistan, Philippines, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Indonesia when I was married and with my children. And when we came back, when we came back from living overseas, I couldn't help but notice that there was a proliferation of atheism, which told me that people were searching. You know, these books were reaching bestsellers, and I couldn't understand why. I had started writing my book for myself to help me understand my own life. And I also wrote it for my children because there were so many questions from our past that needed to be addressed, and that I wanted them to understand from their mother why things happened the way that they did. But then when I noticed this proliferation, I thought people are searching. They could really use this information to help themselves. So I wrote the book in a formal way because I want people to understand that there are tools and there is a process to help others understand life, their relationships, their relationship to money, to wealth generation, to whatever it is in life that you want to know about. The metaphysical tools, and specifically the feng shui and Bazi, which is Chinese astrology, help you to understand yourself. And then they help you to connect to your environment, so that you create the balance that is necessary to nurture your life and to move forward in the best possible way.
Because as you mentioned, this journey started well before you were even aware that it would be a journey.
Exactly.
You were in the middle of the country in Iowa, 10 siblings,
You're right.
And a Catholic upbringing.
Yes, a Catholic upbringing. I was raised in a very strong Catholic background. The whole community was Catholic, and it influenced my life. I rejected religion at some point in my life. I rejected God, and when I did that, it propelled me into another journey of another type. And of course, right now, I have come full circle. I'm very spiritual. I cannot say that I'm religious, but I am a Christian. And now I understand what all of that was about. But the dogmatic aspects of religion were not what I was experiencing personally as a child. You know, I had such a relationship with God and angels and things like that, you know, as a child on a farm. And these things were not being explained in religion. We were taught to fear. It is not something to fear. It is something, religion, or God anyway, is about love. And that is something that we really need to understand, is about the love aspect of God.
You never could have predicted at that young age that you would be the world traveler that you are, nor that you would have a heart attack at 42 years old.
That's right, I did. And it was that experience when I had the heart attack that I had also a pre-death experience. And when I came out of it, I realized I needed to evaluate my life and I needed to start over. Whatever it was, I needed to put things straight in my life, and which is what I did. And it was with the help of the feng shui. First of all, I needed to balance our home so that I could nurture myself, because I was so weak that I didn't have the strength, the energy, or the wherewithal where to begin. And after I gained some energy, I was then able to take steps. And along the way, I analyzed everything, because I do have a background in science. I did genetic research and I worked in laboratories for years. I analyzed why this was happening, how it could happen, how my children could be affected with different aspects of this when they didn't know anything at all about religion. There had to be something more than that. But with understanding the science, I was able to say, well, that's why it happened. And I was able to make the connection between science and God, which was valuable to me.
And then finding that balance has now made you very passionate about sharing that.
Absolutely. It is so important that we understand how important balance is in our lives so that we can make the most of our lives, so we can make our lives actually work for us, and the lessons that we have to learn in our life.
Germaine, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate
I really appreciate being here with you. Thank you,
Sharing your
Jessica.
journey, that's very important. Thank you so much for coming in and being with us. And right
Thank
now we're
you.
going to send it over your way.